good at synchronization here.
Yeah, right.
All right, I'm waiting. Go ahead.
Welcome back to the throne room.
There we go. That was so good.
Thank you.
You did so good. She did it amazing.
I was trying to be Josh Pink.
Josh Pink could never do that as good as you. Unfortunately, Josh is out. He's not feeling so good. He's feeling a little under the weather. So I brought my beautiful and talented girlfriend. How are you?
I'm good. Doing good.
What's your name?
Hi, I'm Alex.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm also Alex.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
Okay. How are you? Let's get into this. Listen, we're not
on a
it's gonna
deeper
be,
level.
It's gonna be a little different episode, so we're gonna try to get as deep as possible. We're just gonna talk about a lot of stuff. I just showed her "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared."
That was weird.
It's so weird because she didn't know what it was, and I got introduced to it last year, and it's like the weirdest thing in the world. It's very like gross.
It started out as like a cute, like,
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
yeah, and then it took a turn.
Yeah.
Straight.
If you don't know what we're talking about, and you want to be creeped out,
Go to
look
YouTube.
Up, yeah, go look up "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared." Very weird.
Don't do it alone though.
There's a lot of weird like conspiracies on that.
Really?
Like, yeah, there's a bunch of videos on like, cause like there's like I showed you a little bit of freeze frames.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much more that I don't even know about, like that people like spend, like they go through that thing frame by frame, and they'll like the swastika that was like, it was like E equals MC squared, but it was a swastika equals MC squared, and it's on like this kid show, which is the weirdest thing. It's like on a baby, it's like a kid cartoon, and they have weird stuff like that, and it's like the craziest thing in the world. But anyway, so wildest thing. It's like, probably like 40 minutes like of just
Nonsense.
literally nonsense. I don't know what's going on.
I won't be able to sleep, so thank you for that.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I'll have to just FaceTime you.
Okay, yeah. We'll fall asleep on the FaceTime.
yeah, from your apartment. No, we did a thing yesterday.
We did a thing.
So I wanted to go to sleep, and she goes, "Let's just go drive somewhere." So we drove somewhere, and we were gonna drive around Bryan, and we're just gonna
went
go
a little farther.
Yeah,
than
we're
Bryan.
just gonna go. Yeah, yeah. So we drove out to Huntsville, which is like an hour away, and we went. What was the road called? Like Bowden Road or something?
Bowden Road. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's like Devil's Road.
Yeah, so it's like this. It's supposed to be like really haunted, and we went out there, and we were really. I mean, I was fine, but she was really scared, and I was only like worried because, it's a dangerous thing to do. Because it's like the sun's down, and like we're by ourselves, just us two, and we're kind of on this gravel road, and so it was a little scary. So I was worried about that, but I was like, okay, but we're in a car. We're like, it's not like we're walking like unarmed.
Yeah, we went in my Mazda too, so that was great. I was like, we're gonna get taken in style.
We're not gonna get taken. Okay.
We didn't get taken.
No.
But
And so we show up, and all of a sudden there's like 12 other cars of people here at this Devil's Road. Just and there's like a cemetery that's like buried in the middle of nowhere, and literally it's just like farm roads, and then just a lot of foliage, and in there somewhere is like the cemetery.
Yeah.
And so we go back there, and all of like the dates are like from the 1800s.
Yeah, we got out. We had flip-flops on.
Yeah.
And I had shorts on,
Yeah.
not thinking we were going to get out.
Well, we weren't gonna get out, and then once I saw that there was like, okay, there's like families out here.
Yeah.
There's like literally there was like 2 families walking around with their kids, and so I was like, okay, let's get out because I think we're fine.
Yeah.
So we
And it was weirdly silent.
it
That
was so
creepy.
peaceful. It was so peaceful. I didn't even think it was creepy. I was kind of disappointed.
No, yeah, it was peaceful.
It was very peaceful because it was just so like, the weather felt so good outside, and it was just like,
It was what?
you know what I mean? It was.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly
You know what I
how
mean?
it. That's exactly what it sounded like.
But no, so that was fun. And then and Brian, but we need to go back. We need to go to like another place. Maybe be a little more prepared next time and not go in flip flops.
Told you I'm gonna get equipment.
You get equipment.
Yeah,
You're gonna
I'm
get
gonna-
like an EMF detector,
Yeah.
and
I'm gonna go full on Ghost Adventures.
Yeah.
You know.
Which we've watched that whole show.
Yeah, we have.
But we have a long time ago, like the first year. Oh, looking back on our relationship. So we're gonna kind of talk about just paranormal stuff, I guess, because people want us to talk about that. There's a lot of comments saying to talk about that stuff, and it's kind of, I mean, it's sort of not like a huge interest of mine, but it's something that I guess is a little bit interesting because I've seen some interesting things in my life that are kind of like, huh.
Yeah.
What's the explanation behind that one?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and you know, definitely, we believe that like demons are real and that stuff. And that's sort of like what we don't want to get into because that's like that stuff's actually
Whole nother level.
that stuff's actually real, and that's like getting into like dangerous. Not for us because we're like protected
Yes.
by the blood of Christ, but you know, still that's like evident. You know what I mean? So, but no, I mean, and you've heard I told the story on a couple episodes ago, but you obviously know the one in this room.
Yeah.
That was the weirdest thing. So for those of you who haven't heard that episode, it was late in the episode, but so I was going to drive to work, which is like 40 minutes away from here, and so I had to leave here pretty early, and so I was up at like 5 or 6 maybe. I was getting ready. I was going to shower, and I walked in the bathroom, and you can tell on this wall there's nothing on the wall. It's just a white wall. Here's the bed, but you know, there's nothing like eye level of the wall. Like there's nothing on the window, not on the window, on the door frame. There's nothing there. And there's like you walk in the bathroom, and there's a mirror like immediately there. Okay, so I walk in, and I'm about to brush my teeth. And as soon as I like cross the threshold of the door frame, the threshold, fire word, right?
Throne room.
So as soon as I walk through the threshold of the bathroom, I see like this. It looks like this. It looks like this like blanket.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that same color, and it just like flies across like the door, like as if it's right behind me, like at eye level, just does that and just like moves across the door.
I would have been in my car.
Well,
in
here's the
0.2
thing. Here's the
seconds.
thing, because I'm not one to like run away from anything.
No, you'd punch whatever was there.
Well, so I got like a bunch of adrenaline like shot through my body, obviously, and I was like not half asleep, but I was really tired. But I mean, I was awake, so like I obviously saw it. Because when I saw it, like my instincts just like kicked in. So it was like, obviously, there was something there.
Something's gonna die.
There was something there because, like, adrenaline was pumping through my body. You know, and if that was just something in my head, you know, I probably wouldn't have felt all those. And, like, the hair stood up on the back of my neck, and, like, I got all tense. And so, literally, I was just thinking to myself, like, hey, somebody's going to die today, and it's not going to be me. And so I'm having these thoughts at, like, 6 in the morning. And I just, like, jump, like, from in the bathroom to, like, right out here. And I'm about to just kill somebody. Whoever's in my apartment. And there's nobody there. There's nobody here. There's nothing on the wall. There's a ceiling fan that was on. And it was, you know, going. So even if there was, like, a flag on the wall, I could see, like, okay, maybe that's the thing. But there's nothing on the wall that could have, like, moved anything. And it's not like I have stuff in my apartment. So I don't know what it was, but that was I mean, I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
It was unexplainable.
See, nothing like that has ever happened.
To you?
No. And I've said before, like, I want to, like, at one point set up a camera and, like, film me, like, sleeping. Not in a creepy way, but, like, film me sleeping and then, like, watch it back and have that time to watch it back and just, like, see what goes on. But, like, I also wouldn't want to know what goes on. Because it's like, okay, if you see something, then what? Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. Because then you don't know if it's going to happen again.
Right. And then like, what if it comes at like 3 in the morning and they say it's like
The witch's hour, yeah.
I see. Then I wouldn't like be able to sleep. So like, I want to know, but like, I don't want to know.
I'm more afraid of crazy people than of like ghosts or whatever.
Yeah, but you say that now. But I feel like if you were to see something,
Well, if I was to see,
like just something go on in your room while you're
Yeah.
sleeping, like
yeah, that's I mean, that's very scary. Don't get me wrong.
yeah,
But I would be more afraid if like I was laying in bed and
and someone
a
like-
real person
Well,
was in my room.
yeah,
Then it's a whole nother level
oh yeah,
of adrenaline and like fight or flight, and that's a whole nother thing.
yeah.
And so like I'm more afraid of a crazy person, you know. That's,
Okay, what if you're recording and a crazy like someone's like standing in front of your bed, and they do that
then,
every night?
Then the police will be involved, and I will be packing heat, as they say, and somebody will die on my property.
Welcome to Texas.
Yeah. Well, anywhere in America.
Well, yeah.
Welcome to America. Welcome to
America.
America.
Yeah.
Please be responsible with your firearms, ladies and gentlemen. Please.
Gosh.
Yeah. There's we also went to Austin today.
I did.
Yeah.
That was fun.
She's
Not
a,
ghost hunting. But
she's a city. No, but we thought about it. She's a city girl,
I need my city.
and I'm not.
No.
A
That's
city
what we're very different.
or a city. I'm not a girl.
No, you just don't like the city.
No, I just don't like the
Yeah,
city.
he just doesn't.
Well, I mean, I like the city. Don't get me wrong. I like the city, but the smells are gross.
To live there all the time, but like, I don't know. I like the hustle and bustle. Like since I haven't been back, and like since like Dallas, I miss like the hustle and bustle. Like,
I don't
people
know. Yeah,
watching
no,
and, like,
people watching is definitely fun, but you can do that anywhere. And like, I think right out of college it's good because you get an apartment and you stay busy and
Right.
you wanna be in that environment where when you're still young.
Right. And
Well,
then
like,
when you get older,
when you
you
get
wanna
older,
settle down.
dude, you gotta. I mean, especially with kids, I don't want to have kids in an apartment. You know. I don't know. It's weird, but anyway, for those of you, wow,
Those of Hughes.
for those in the pews. For those of you who don't know about the rivalry, because we have viewers that aren't from Texas. I see you.
Howdy.
But no, so since we go to Texas A&M, we're big rivals with TU, or the University of Texas, so they say,
Yes.
which is in Austin. So that's why we left the parking garage, and I was like, we gotta blare our war hymn.
Blasted
So
the
we
war hymn.
we got out on 6th Street and rolled the windows down and just cranked up the music to the Aggie war hymn, just blared it.
No one
and
cared.
Nobody,
but
literally
it's just
nobody
funny.
cared. Yeah.
You know, we
And
cared.
I had like a horns down out the window. Nobody
No one
gave
cares.
anything.
No.
Yeah, so
No one gave
yeah.
anything.
So there was no grief, which I'm kind of sad about,
No.
but
There were
Whatever.
no like college students around. It was like all
Yeah, it was,
older
like,
people
yeah.
who just were like
mhm.
nuisances. So
There's a lot of nice buildings down there.
there were nice
So,
apartments that I was
Very nice
about
apartments.
ready to live in.
Yeah, but there's probably like $4,000 a month.
They're still nice.
Yeah, whatever. So what's your major? Tell the fans what your major is.
I'm a sociology major with a minor in communications.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you.
Congrats.
I gotta learn how to communicate.
Congratulations.
So just a minor detail.
Just a minor detail.
Minor detail.
Yeah, you don't need. It's not a major thing. Okay. Okay. What class did you take?
I have 2 sociology classes. One is research
What research? Yeah.
research methods, intro to gender and society.
Wow.
It's a really interesting class. What else do I have? A comm class, rhetoric and Western thought.
Okay.
So we're going over like Greek,
people.
not really literature.
Greek people.
Greek people.
Greek
We're
people.
studying the Greek people. And then astronomy.
Shout out to Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Gorgeous human being. Anyway. And
I
astronomy.
showed her. She didn't even know. First of all, big basketball person didn't even know who Giannis Antetokounmpo was.
I'm not even a big basketball person.
You played basketball.
I played in high school, and he thinks like I know everyone by like name, which I don't. But then okay,
You'll just cut on random basketball highlights for no reason.
because they're just interesting to watch. I don't know who they are, but they're just interesting to watch.
Well, you'd pick up who Giannis Antetokounmpo
And it was your fault because you showed me who it was.
Yeah, no,
and he's
I said
human
his
being.
name, and you were like, "What? Bless
Who's
you."
that? Yeah.
Yeah. You said Kazoonheit.
Yeah, Gazoon
Yeah.
He's pretty.
He's a good-looking guy.
He is.
He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a
beast.
family though, so.
Oh,
Yeah.
so okay. So if he didn't have a family, you'd.
I might.
Thank you for watching.
So what's your major?
Well, y'all know what I'm majoring in. So.
No, tell us.
Nah, y'all know.
I
Y'all
don't
already
know.
know. You do know.
No.
You've
I'm new. I've never been here. I've been here once. I lied. Sorry.
Yeah, you have been on the show once, but it wasn't here. It was back at Austin's. I'm a civil engineering major.
Who's she?
Civil engineering?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What's that?
Oh, civil engineering is basically engineers that are big on road design, bridge design, water resources, land development. It's a very broad aspect. We got geotechnical work, transportation, just a lot can encompass. You can go into the environmental side where you can treat water. We need a lot of those up in Flint.
Flintwood.
Flint, Michigan. Yeah.
Okay. It's from Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs.
I don't watch child movies, sorry. Anyway, but I did watch the second one. So
you do watch child movies?
that was a joke.
Conclusion.
Okay, all right. With the dying infrastructure, we saw some dying infrastructure.
Yeah.
So today
In Austin.
in Austin.
Ironic.
Shout out to Austin for not having good infrastructure. You need some Aggie engineers.
Need some Pave Dawsons.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So, but that's what we're doing.
That's what you do.
So
In
that's what I
the
do.
Zachary.
In the
Engineering
Zachary
building.
College of Engineering
Yes.
at the Zachary Engineering Education Complex.
See, and I
College
meet him
station.
after class over there,
Mm-hmm.
and I always tell you that I breathe the air of the intelligent.
Yeah, because it's a whole side of campus, like literally, and I guess for being a white dude, it's really cool to see, like, you walk on north side of the campus, which is where all like it's where Zachary Engineering Building is. It's where the Mitchell Physics. It's where all like the STEM classes are, and that's Northside campus. So you walk in the Northside campus, and I literally become the minority there. I mean, there's so many like Asians, Indians, like just everybody. There's just a what's it called? A melting pot. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just such a melting pot of people. And it's really cool. I mean, there's the Indian community on campus, like they just travel in packs, and they're all around Zachary. It's crazy. It's insane to see. So it's really cool.
The shift from like main, because I have to go from like main campus.
Yeah, I mean,
you do too.
You walk through Academic Plaza, and it's like just a bunch of white people,
Circle.
and then everybody in Northside campus, all the smart people, not including myself, because I'm not that smart, but
It's pretty much diverse.
yeah, it's crazy.
Breathing the air
So,
of
yeah.
the intelligent.
What's with that gender class going on? What's going on with that?
that? That's an interesting class. So my professor is a woman. So like,
Would you say it like that?
what?
She's a woman.
Well, because I'm like understanding, like, obviously she's gonna give me like her biased side of society, which I was like, you told me, like, be careful.
Well,
And-
any class like that, if it's not, well, I mean, because obviously with, I just take math and science classes,
Right.
and there's no bias there.
Right.
It's all like 2 + 2 is 4. And so, but with any other class, like any English class, any literature class, any history class, any other class where that's not based on 100% fact, you need to be careful. I mean, because they teach evolution, and we don't believe in evolution, but it's still like regulated that they teach it.
Right.
Which is fine. I mean, whatever. They can teach what you want. I mean, obviously we have separation of church and state, so that's cool. But because even in history, they can and they have altered history, at least in the history books.
Right.
The stuff in the history books isn't necessarily what actually happened. So that's why I said just to be careful about the bias, because it is there.
Yeah.
Because it's impossible not.
Right.
Because you're teaching from a level of expertise and not of,
right.
Hey, 2 + 2 is 4.
Well, I don't know. I've just started to notice it more, because I mean, obviously she's giving more history and facts about women and what women have gone through, and I'm and there's a good amount of guys in my class, and so I mean they're just having to hear the women's side of it. So I'm well, what about I know there's a guy side of which, I mean the girls in there are pretty strong-willed, but I know there's a guy side of it. So it's if I wonder, I was sitting in class on Friday and I was I wonder if a guy was teaching, how he would teach it and give his perspective on it, and some people were talking state facts about certain things, and she's oh, I've never heard of that before, and it's basic stuff that you just would think anyone would know, and she's oh, I've never heard that, and I'm it makes me think what makes you now I'm questioning everything you've said before, because it's you don't know
because you don't know basic
stuff.
fundamentals.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's it's I mean. Dude.
It's an intro to genders.
I have no idea. I mean,
you couldn't sit in on that class.
I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but I have no idea how the fundamental idea that there are 2 genders can get so twisted.
Well, and
I don't care. Yeah. I don't care if you want to identify as whatever you want, dude. Go for it. It's not gonna. It doesn't affect me. Yeah. I don't care. I don't care who you sleep with. As long as you don't make me watch or some crazy thing like that. I'm cool.
Right. But where do you draw the line?
But where do you draw the line is with thing I mean, because I can't. And I did that thought exercise with you.
A thought exercise.
Yeah. Well, it is. I mean, because it's okay. I'll be accused of mansplaining, right? Which is a thing that I don't know if that's come up in the class or not.
No.
Okay. But basically, it's if I try to give an explanation or try to give a counter argument to anything you say, it's mansplaining because of my quote unquote male privilege. I can't speak on it because I don't know any hardships or anything like that, which is ridiculous if you know my story. So so, but I mean, it's obviously, there's going to be things that both gender groups, experience that the other doesn't.
Right.
So,
and there's no way to know.
And there's no way to know. You can say that some things are harder for girls, and then I can say, well, some things are harder than guys, and we can just go back and forth on this thing. I mean,
right.
you could write out literally lists of okay, here's all the things that girls have to do that guys have no idea, and it's awful.
Yeah.
And then I can say, okay, well, here's a whole nother, and then you can say, hey, that this is an example of male privilege. But then I can make up my own list and say, here's an example of things that guys go through that girls have no idea.
Right.
And and I can say, hey, this is female privilege. So it's okay, there might be privileges on both sides, and that's an okay thing to say.
Well, and we did an exercise. It was the first couple days of class, and it was how we put I don't know, we label certain things women or men. So she was just going through a list, and she was oh, what do you think of strong, a man or a woman? And so obviously as a 20-year-old, I'm more thinking in depth of what do you mean emotionally or physically. So but a little kid, they did it with little kids, and they were 6, I think, and they were oh, boy, and they're oh, why? And they're oh, just because they're physically stronger. So just they're taught at a young age that guys are just stronger, when apparently our teacher told us that before you hit puberty, there's no difference between strength between a male and a female.
Well, I would even say that girls are stronger before puberty.
Yeah, but
because they grow faster.
But like from books they've read from a young age, it's like, you know, the guy is always usually the superhero, and like just like books that they've just been like accustomed to just like reading on a normal basis. It's just like, oh, the girl is the princess and the guy is a superhero, and you never usually see it. You know, now that's starting to change because you have, you know, like Superwoman that came out and whatever. But I was just like, oh, that's pretty interesting that we just like label certain, like emotional. They were like, oh, woman, because you usually don't, like, a guy being emotional is forbidden for some reason. Like, you see a guy getting emotional, you're like, oh my gosh, like, you're weak. But it's like, why is a guy like crying?
Yeah,
a weak thing?
That is something that's starting to change though.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, because I'm a very emotional person.
You are the more emotional.
Yeah. And I'm not afraid to show it.
No. Which, I don't know why you feel like, why is a guy showing emotion like a bad thing?
No,
like,
I don't know. I don't know why. It's I think it's because, you know, guys when they grow up want to be like this image of a man.
Superman, like, you don't see Superman crying on like TV, so like it's like,
well, no, Superman's not like this. That's not what I'm saying.
Well,
I'm saying these people think they just want to be like hardos and like crying, because Superman shows emotion like all over the place.
I mean, you're taught that, you know, like, oh, don't cry, like, boys don't cry.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're taught that from, you come out of the womb and you're taught that, so it's like, what else do you know?
Yeah, I mean.
So then you cry and you're like, I'm weak.
But going back to the truth, objectively, like, not even close. Men are physically stronger. If you're talking about the empirical data, I mean, it's not even close.
On average, yes.
Yeah. But then, of course, I mean, I'm sure women are more emotionally strong. So it's like, again, we go back to like, you can compartmentalize certain things, certain traits, and it's supposed to be like that. Socially, there should be complete equality. You know, there should be no difference between man and woman. They're seen equally by the state. But then if you break that down, it's like, okay, well, some things are inherently unequal.
Yeah.
Because we're fundamentally different. Like, we are wired to be fundamentally different.
Right.
Like,
different
the way that the female brain works is completely 180, like, different than a male's brain. I mean, completely. Like the way y'all think about stuff is like so multitasking. You know, you can be, you know, reading a book and then also
carrying a child.
Yeah. First of all, how do you do that? You know, how do you just make a human?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. How do you just have a child
Come
growing
back next episode.
Oh, please don't say that. Wow. Cut that in post. But I mean, it's like insane because it's, you know, it's like y'all can be reading a book and then thinking about like, hey, I have to, get all these groceries, then I have to go to work, then I have to do this, and it's like you're doing all these things at the same time. Guys are like, yo, I have to read this book and I can't think about anything else. And, you know, maybe some guys are like that, but I don't know.
I was gonna say there's probably some that like can do that.
I can multitask, as in like I can be doing homework and like listening to you or like listening to like a podcast and then like working out. I don't know, but I can't like think about two different, like guys have like this kind of compartmentalized brain where, okay, we go to work, we're in our work brain, you know, and that's sort of like our one like little compartment, you know, and then we go to the gym and that's like our other little compartment that's like work is out of it, you know. Mm-hmm. And then we go home and like we're now relaxed, like we're in the relaxed brain, we're not thinking about the gym or work or anything. Then we go to school and we're in that section of our life. But girls, that's like there's one just giant compartment where everything lives and just breathes. And it's like, so there's so much fundamental difference, not to mention y'all's like the communication skills are completely different. And then again, the physical difference. I mean, obviously, like on average, you know, men are way stronger than women. I mean, even the strongest women don't even come close to the strongest men. There's men that can bench 1,000 pounds. There's only girls that can bench like 6, 7, or 800 pounds.
Yeah.
That's a 200 to 300 pound difference. That's not even close.
Our bodies are just built differently.
Yeah, the what's it called? Like your durability.
Yeah.
Like, you know, on average, probably our bones are stronger, you know? But it's like you can carry a child.
And
a
then
whole human.
Give birth
And then
to a
give
child.
birth to a child.
And then go on like nothing happened.
And then just
like, oh yeah.
you go to work and then the next week.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Subject of maternity leave. I think they're starting to talk about like giving that to like dads too.
Equality, yeah. Sure.
Because like, what if you're like a single dad?
Yeah, right. Well,
or what if the mom needs help?
Exactly. Yeah, you know. So, but yeah, it's like, where do you draw the line, man?
Back to gender.
Yeah, I never really made that point. So like, I did this thought exercise kind of where, you know, it's like, okay, you can identify as whatever, right? I don't care. Do you? You know what I mean? But like, there has to be a finite number. You know, because at least if we're trying to legislate this kind of stuff, like if we're trying to if the government is supposed to legislate, like what you have to call people, like as far as like pronouns goes. Mm-hmm. But then it's like this free floating thing.
How long is the list going to be?
It's infinite because it's ever changing. It's on a ever widening spectrum, and so it's impossible to legislate that. Because then it's like, okay, well, I'm going to make up this new pronoun right now. Government, legislate it. Government, you need to legislate this. You know? And it's like, you can't, there's no way.
Right.
You have to have a list, a finite, like, number. Because you can't just say, hey, I want to be called, a soup, a cup. Yeah, I identify as a mug today. Which is fine. If you want to identify as a mug, I don't care. Go for it, dude. You live in America, the freest country in the world. Go do it. You know?
Do you think we're gonna get to that point where you're just gonna be starting to wanting to be called like inanimate objects?
No, I don't think so. This is just like I said. It's just a thought exercise. I'm sure there's people out there that identify as like dogs, and there are people that identify as like puppies.
Yeah.
And that's like a whole like subculture. Which is, dude, do your thing, or you know what I mean? Doesn't affect me. It's not changing my life at all, so I don't care. I mean, obviously we don't want anyone to beat you up because of it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that. That's a whole nother issue. But
where do you draw the line?
Yeah, you can't. There's no line to be drawn, and you know, it's kind of like it's scary, and I think that's like a major turnoff between people that think logically and that have any reason at all. And, you know, even people that aren't like politically minded can see that it's like, okay, well, that's a little ridiculous.
Right.
Like, you got to have some grasp of reality. And I think that's why, you know, as much as I'm sort of uneasy about it, that's why Trump's going to win again. And it is very sad because, you know, it's like, I don't agree with him morally, but, you know, I agree with his policies. And the only reason why that he's going to win again is because the other side's just kind of nuts. They have they don't have a grasp of reality. Fundamentally, I mean, we can get into like, okay, social justice is like, you know, a good thing in some parts, but I don't know.
It's just a hard topic to talk about.
It really
Politics.
is.
You go into
Phew. But I mean, it's and especially like, yo,
you can't have a conversation anymore.
The queen of the party ripped up a speech in live television.
You can't have like a normal conversation anymore without like in my intro to gender and society, like we were just having a normal conversation and then all of a sudden like someone pulls in like religion and like politics and everyone's like, okay, like that's where we take the turn, and then like, you know, you go into a hole because obviously everyone's going to have different opinions on different things. So like, man, it's crazy.
I just want to break from it because it's ever since Trump he got elected, it's been nonstop on the news, on Twitter, nonstop. Trump did this today. Trump did this today. Trump did this today. Anyone that is a Republican or is a conservative is racist, bigoted, homophobic, transphobic, whatever ick or ism or ist that you want to call me. You know, it's like so exhausting. And, you know, if a president served 2 terms, he wouldn't have won. But after this whole Russia thing, that whole thing. By the way, he got acquitted, like we predicted. Everyone predicted, because the Senate's has a majority Republican, so they're not gonna do that. So he got acquitted.
The people that were like, when he first got impeached.
Yeah, when he got impeached.
Everyone was like, "Oh," and like blew up and thought like that was it.
They
and I
were
was
like,
"You don't know how this."
They don't. Yeah, and it's
That
like
was
everyone,
funny.
everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, Trump's finally
Yeah,
out of office."
he's out
It's
of-
like, no, he's
Well-
not. He's still the president.
Polls class.
Yeah. Wow. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just, it's just so.
It's a hard thing.
Yeah, but yeah, that's like I said, if they ran 2-year terms, he would lose. Like, it wouldn't even be close. Whoever he ran against would beat him.
Yeah.
But now, after this whole impeachment thing, after the whole like progression of I guess the left's mind on like identity politics kind of thing. Since there is no line and there's no grasp of like the reality there, people can't relate to that. Not a majority of Americans can't relate to that. Maybe not yet.
Yeah.
And at least not where we are now. It's just, there's not enough people behind that, and the people that are behind it are just doing it so they can look good on Twitter. There's no way that they actually believe that kind of stuff, because it's like saying 2 + 2 is 3.
They're all chameleons.
They're all lizard people.
They're all lizard people.
Yeah.
And they probably just we talked about this before. It wasn't like on the show, but just like the teenagers that like just support something to support, like on it's usually Twitter,
Yeah.
and they just support something to be supporting, and they don't really even like look into what is actually like going on. They just see, oh, majority, this tweet blew up. Don't know why, but like I'm just gonna support it because it's famous for some reason, and I don't really know why. But
Yeah.
and
And
that's like
they might have no idea what they're like supporting.
probably not.
Speaking of Twitter and like I guess politics, are you are you of like the belief that like white guilt is a thing? Like we need to pay like reparations for slavery?
Not reparations, but like I don't know. The big thing that like I always see is like when people are like, oh, like it's like they get, I don't know, sometimes like I feel like white people try to be like victims, and like they're like, oh, it's the same thing as like black people in slavery, and it's like, okay, like
You're saying like, what do you mean victims?
like I mean I can't bring up a certain instance, but I saw something the other day on Twitter, and it was obviously some like vocal black kid, but I don't know, they were just like fighting over something, and they were like, oh, it's like y'all's slavery, and it's just like, okay, but
Wow, that's
you like can't connect that, there's like just I don't know.
That's a little far. But no, but I'm asking you this because there's a group of black people that
On Twitter?
Yeah, well, no, I mean the video is on Twitter.
Oh.
But they were in some public area in some busy intersection, and they had like microphones and speakers, and had a bunch of signs, and it was like just a big group of like 5 or 6 big black dudes, and they were preaching and talking, and this white couple was the only one like standing there, and they were wearing like all leather and like boots and stuff, and kind of that kind of style, and kind of yelling and talking, and this like white couple, it looked like from like just your standard Austin white couple, like his name was Seth and her name was like something like Angela or some like just
Angel.
really white name, and they were talking about like how white people still owe black people for slavery, and
See that?
because like mind you, those people didn't live back then. No one lives.
No
from
one
back
can
then.
say, yeah. I mean,
And-
grandparents, but
Yeah,
not even grandparents.
not even
but
that.
Like,
this is from the
hear it through-
1800s.
yeah,
There's
hear it through time.
nobody's alive. And
That's too far, in my opinion.
well, it gets worse.
Oh,
They somehow coerce these white people to kiss their boots. So they put their boots.
pay back for-
So they kiss their boots on the speaker, and they say "salute me," or I don't know what they say. Or they're speaking on the microphone.
right.
And the girl starts off, and she like bows down and kisses this dude's foot, and then the guy does it, and then everybody proceeds to put each of their feet on each of their boots on like the speaker, and they just go back and forth kissing everybody's foot.
For why?
And they're like clapping. They're like, "See, these are good white people. These are good white people for saluting us."
See, that doesn't make sense. Like,
These kids are in their 20s, bro. They barely lived through 9/11.
no, but like that fixed the problem. You kiss my boots, so
Yeah.
like that makes up for all the generations of
Yeah, exactly.
my great like what?
Yeah,
What does that help?
That's what I like to call mental illness.
That's too far. Like, you can't. I mean, one, you can't make up for what.
No, there's nothing you can do
No.
to make up for slavery
No.
at this point.
No,
Like, even if you could, like,
you can
you
change
can't.
stuff for the future.
And
but
it has changed exponentially. Like, people that are calling me racist for being white nowadays have no idea.
well, there are a group. But you always have those group of people. It's like Christians. You have that group that just ruins it for everyone else, and I feel like that's like what happens nowadays. Like, you know, you have that one vocal white group who is racist.
Yeah, okay.
And then it just ruined, like, that just.
Sure, but, like, think about this. Think about, not even during slavery, because it might have been even worse during, like, the civil rights era. From a mainstream racist point of view, like, I feel like the civil rights era was more just mainstream racist than even slavery, because it was like a whole, and I obviously that's just
Can't say.
I don't have no idea. I didn't live through this.
Took out my history book.
Yeah,
Check your
but it's like
facts.
because that was like a whole nother thing. Like, in the streets, people were blatantly racist to just people. To people,
But
humans.
I mean, slavery in and of itself was just.
Yeah, but that was only in certain areas. This was like all across the country, just in public places.
I mean, we can't say we weren't there. I don't know.
No, that's my point. But like, I'm saying, like, back then, during the civil rights era, that
was
was
bad.
everyone. Now it's like less than 1% of people that are still like that, and when they come out, they're not, hosing down people in the streets,
No.
making them sit in the back of buses,
But when
hitting
they-
them, pouring milkshakes on them. Now it's the other way around.
But now, like, when you do hear about it, like, you have media who probably, in most of the time, like, blows it up more than it needs to, and then you have our generation backing it up, not
Yeah.
knowing the
Not
real
knowing
story,
really
so
what's
that
going
just
on.
makes it worse. That's what I'm saying. It just
Yeah.
takes that one group, and then it just.
Yeah, but I'm saying that from, if you're looking at, like, from back then to now, the amount of racism has gone way down. Extremely.
I don't know.
Completely down. I mean, it's literally less than 1%. Probably less than 0.01%. And it's people that live in the hills, and yeah, that's like the hills have eyes people, and they go out and have their secret KKK meetings in the woods because they're afraid of getting canceled and getting literally
Cancel culture.
Literally, if they came out and did anything to, like, any person of color, everybody else around them would beat the crap out of them, and they should.
Yeah.
And I would be a part of it.
We would leave College Station.
I would beat the crap
to
out
go
of people.
beat.
I would leave anywhere and go to these people and beat them up.
I'm in my intro to gender. I'll be right back. I
hold
gotta go
on.
beat
There's
some
there's
people.
a thing that's happening. I gotta go beat people up,
Gosh dang.
and they should get beaten up. And that's and they know that they would get beaten up.
Right.
And they should know that they're gonna get beat up.
Right.
They should be scared to be beat up in the
Do they
streets.
do it anyway? Yeah, but
Do they?
probably. I mean, there's
Where?
cases that we don't know, but like you can't catch everything. So
Okay.
there's probably cases that,
With how strong the media is, like,
okay, but the media isn't always like
that's
Right.
my point. So when's the last time the media has been 100% spot on with, like, hey, these white people took this black guy and hung him,
I don't know.
The last time that happened for me was the last time I actually heard a crazy case was in Alabama, and these group of white college kids, like, drugged this black dude behind their truck. And that happened in, like, 2012.
Okay, but what about like the cases that don't catch media's attention? Like there's a ton that happen like not behind the scenes, but just don't get like blown up like others. But those just like happen and then like you move on.
I feel like there's no the incentive behind like posting stuff about that is tremendous, because whether people want to say it or not, if they post a video like that, the amount of likes they'll get is off the charts. They will get famous for posting that video, maybe not because of them, but because of the content. Because everyone's going to comment about it and blow up about it and tweet about how awful it is, and it is.
Yeah.
But the incentive for posting stuff like that is huge.
What if you don't post about it?
Well, I'm saying there's incentive to post about it. Yeah. So they would. Like, they would get media attention, you know, because, hey, we got this footage, we're going to post about it, you know?
Because of what it was, yeah.
Because it's everyone dogpiles.
I'm scared for my children.
Yeah.
Because, gosh, that's just not going to be fun. My child will not have, like, technology for a hot minute.
It's like the Wild West right now. Like, the internet is literally the Wild West. There's really no guidelines, and Instagram and Twitter are and YouTube is trying to make guidelines.
People find a way around them.
Yeah, dude. There's literally, oh man,
things that are like movies, for example, like what is now considered PG-13 nowadays is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how is this how?
Yeah. Because it's just, there's this, I don't know.
Like the movie that we like pulled up the other day that was like PG-13, and I was like,
yeah,
there's absolutely no way
PG-13.
Like this would be rated probably, well, I don't know, what is it, M? R?
No, it's R, yeah, for movies.
Yeah.
M for mature, that's video games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, R.
Be rated
like
R.
A couple years back.
Literally 5 years ago.
That's crazy.
Literally 5 years ago, it would have been rated R.
That's why my child will not.
And I'm like, dude, these are high school kids. What's going on?
And then you teach, kids. They're watching that, thinking that's okay.
That's okay to do, and it's completely not.
No.
Yeah, there's a level of immaturity there that they don't even know that they have.
Right. But because it's gonna blow up the most, get them the most money. Because the movie we watched was in theaters, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. But I mean, even when it plays on Netflix, they're getting paid for it. So.
Oh yeah.
Whatever gets them the most views nowadays.
I think that the internet is going to drastically change in the next 10 years. At least by the time that our kids are born.
Like, get better or
get safer, like get stricter.
See, I don't know.
Because it's the Wild West right now. Something big is going to have to happen in our country to where there's like a national internet threat or crisis, and we're going to have to buckle down.
But yeah, see, I don't
Kids
know.
are getting technology so early now. I mean,
babies, you shut up a baby by putting an iPad in front of its face.
Good. You gotta
give it a rattle. Give it a good old rattle, like a little.
Oh, I thought you meant like shake the baby.
No.
I was gonna say what?
No. Give it sound. Like give it something. Stick a binky in its mouth.
Let it go outside, man.
Let it go outside when it can't walk.
Let it play in the mud, in the rain. Build that immune system up.
Oh, it might have just been one of my sociology classes. We were talking about that, and they were like, "Yeah, parents nowadays are all about like, oh my gosh, germs." But you have to let your kid get sick so their immune system can build up.
Oh
which
my
is funny
gosh!
We talked about that before.
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta let them roll around the dirt, let them get sick.
I was outside almost every day. Yeah. Probably every day. I was outside every day.
Yeah.
And I was playing. Obviously, I grew up as an only child. Before I met my brother and sister, and literally I was playing with sticks and climbing trees and getting dirty and scuffing my knees and playing sports and just getting sun, playing with not worms because I don't really want to mess with that.
You didn't like worms,
but I did save a snake.
Wow,
look at you. That. Yeah, my dog had just mauled this baby garden snake to almost to death, and so. I built. We had some bricks, and I built this brick containment for the snake, and I put leaves and grass and dirt in there, and I gave it pieces of turkey that it was eating, and it stayed in there for days, and I guess it got stronger and stronger, and one day I came back and it was gone. So I guess
your host, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See,
PETA, you can't come at me anymore. I saved a snake, so.
See, like, my older sister, like, I mean, first child, you, like, cleanse that baby that, you know. So she, I mean, I don't think she gets sick a lot, but she's just very, like, hidden from a lot of things. And so.
It's gonna be different than when we're actually parents, because I feel like once we're actually parents, we'll be like, we want to be so protective.
I know. That's how it goes. You say now, like, no, I'm gonna let my kid roll in the dirt, and then you're an actual parent, and you're like, get out of the dirt and let's go take a bath right now.
Can you imagine the kids, like, during the caveman era? No baths.
No.
And they were fine. Well, I say that. I mean, the life expectancy in Western civilization has, like, tripled. So.
Right.
Gosh, yeah.
The cave people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did see. Oh, we can talk about Brother Jed. Brother Jed and
sister, whatever.
Sister.
I really don't know what
I don't know.
her name is.
So, if you go to A&M, you've probably heard about. It's some like church. It's
Jed Fest.
Jed Fest, yeah. It's apparently like a normal church. It's like a regular Methodist church, and I'll be honest, it's not. This is not stuff that they teach in the Bible. And it's sad, man, because it's like, you know, and it's in Academic Plaza, like right when everybody's walking around, when it's like the busiest time. Anyway, it's these two old people that not as bad as Westboro Baptist, but they're the people that make us look crazy.
Yeah, it just takes a couple.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the saddest thing is like what Pastor Jed and whatever his woman, his woman, but the woman that's with him, whatever like they're doing is leaving an impression on college students that may be non-believers, that may like already have a bad taste in their mouth, or maybe undecided about Christianity,
and it confirms what they're thinking.
And it's like, oh, these people are just crazy, right? You know.
It's sad.
So basically, what I saw was, you know, this girl was up there talking about how every single girl on campus is the S word,
mm-hmm.
a slut.
Mm-hmm.
Or a whore, as she put it.
Like some girl would just pass by and she's like, and like would just like
mm-hmm.
call him out.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right. And so that's why I started having this conversation with the guy that was with them. I guess it was like an intern. And I was like, hey, man, what like denomination do y'all belong to? Is this, what is this? Is this like, I don't know.
Satanism.
What is this? What is this? What kind of church you go to? And he's like, oh, just Methodist. I'm like, oh, really?
Are you?
you Methodist, huh? Okay. So what is going on back here?
Right.
What's going on? Well, I mean, I didn't say it like that.
No. Yeah.
But you know, and I mean, literally, she's just condemning everybody. And she's like, some guys like, what about the dudes? And she's like, oh, we'll get to the guys. And then she called all the guys like, just disgusting
horrible
perverts.
People, yeah.
And sure, there's people out there like that, no doubt. And if they are, okay.
But no, everyone was, according to her.
But no, everyone on campus, and she even made it specific. And this is where I started to like talk to the guy, because she said everyone in a sorority is a whore.
Yes.
And I was like, that's when I was like, So Alex is in a sorority, but it's a Christian sorority. Is she still a whore?
But that makes me a whore, yes. Okay. Just because I'm in a sorority.
In a sorority. Yes. Even though it's a Christian sorority.
You heard it here first, folks.
She's a whore.
I'm a whore.
Okay. So that's when I started talking to this guy. He was a nice guy. He just gave off. I mean, you saw him, right? I mean, I don't know what I can't like make judgments on this guy. Obviously, it's not my place to. And whatever his relationship is between him and God, I can't say.
Right.
You know, but it seemed to me, just off of like his body language and like the way he like answered questions and the way that he would try to answer questions about like normal things in like our culture,
mm-hmm.
he seemed like he didn't get out much. Like he didn't understand like our culture now.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it makes me wonder, was this guy like not allowed outside and just like was indoctrinated his whole childhood, and that's what's sad to me is like he's not being fed like the truth, and it's like he could, because he spoke very well and he was able to articulate his point well.
Right.
It's like that could have been so much more, you know. And so my whole point to him was, hey man, you know, what denomination are you? And he was like, Methodist, and I was like, okay, but no, you're not.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, like what's happening here behind us, and you know, just for the record, everyone that was in, it was like a whole circle of people that were watching her. Everybody there was like giving this lady like the business, like they were like yelling her out and like heckling her, and some of it was kind of funny, some of it was a little like, you know, inappropriate, but it was objectively funny. Yeah. So anyways, that's I started having a serious conversation with this guy while everybody's, you know, kind of not taking this girl seriously because she's calling them a whore. She doesn't know, like this person doesn't know any of these people.
Right.
She doesn't know like what's actually happening with who these people are, what they like, you know, what their relationship with the Lord. They don't know, and you know, she's calling you a whore.
Right. She called me and I wasn't even there, but she did. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like you don't know her. You don't know her relationship is.
Right.
And so that's when I started talking to this guy, and I was like, okay, so when Jesus went to the prostitute, did he call her a whore and a slut and just start naming all the things that she's done wrong? No.
What did he say?
He said, come as you are. Get up.
No, what did the guy say, the intern?
Oh, I mean Jesus. Oh, I was like, well,
I know that.
No, he was like, well, he also said, get up and sin no more. He's like, yeah, he said, get up and sin no more. After he said, I love you, and you're still loved, and you're still my child.
Right.
So it's like that's why my main point was like, hey, you know, if Jesus was on Earth right now, and was giving this speech, he wouldn't be using these words, number one, and he also wouldn't be starting his talk or his sermon or his teachings by naming all the things that you've done wrong.
And weren't they...
That's not the good news, man.
Weren't they saying that... you sin... Like, what were they saying about sin?
Oh, he tried to make a distinction between accidental sin and just regular sin.
Yeah.
But it was a weird like sub point. It was a weird like rabbit hole that he wanted to go down with me.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I went down it with him because I wanted to prove him wrong, and I did. I mean, it wasn't hard.
Right.
I was like, okay, so there was a girl that went to school with me. She was talking with me, and they were listening to us have the conversation. And I was like, okay, so take this girl for example. If I have a knife in my hand, and I trip and fall, and the knife goes in her jugular, and I kill her.
Right.
That it was obviously an accident, right? But it's a sin. It's still murder. It's still manslaughter in this country.
Right.
And he's like, so I was like, so do I have to feel sorry for that? Like, do I have to ask for forgiveness for that? He's like, no, because it's an accidental sin. And I was like, no, man, no. And so then Gage Edwards, shout out, he went to school with us. He's been going to Breakaway with us and stuff like that. So he came up to us and he was like, hey, Alex, what's up?
Yeah.
He started having this conversation with the guy too, and he's like, okay, so if you accidentally press the gas pedal too hard when you're driving down the highway and you end up going 1 mile over the speed limit,
which we've all done,
which everybody has done, you are breaking the law, which is a sin.
Right.
But you didn't really mean to. Do you have to feel sorry for it? And he was like, no. So then I was like, okay, here's the thing. There is no distinction. Like, I could accidentally stab a girl or a guy. That's manslaughter. It has different consequences than first-degree murder, but it's still a sin.
Right.
And here's the other point. The most important thing to make here is that God doesn't see any difference between it. He doesn't think that, you had a bad thought about your professor. You had just an angry thought about your professor for not bumping you up. That's just on par as if I stab you 47 times in the neck. Just as equally on par. Mm-hmm. And it's all equally offered to be forgiven. And so that's my point that I was making. I don't know why he kept bringing that up. And because he was like, it's the most important distinction. And I was like, okay, let me ask you this. Because then he started to get into like, saved forever versus like you have to rededicate your life every time you sin.
That's what I was gonna ask. Every time you sin, you like are not Christian anymore.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, let me ask you this. When did you like personally make the decision genuinely to become a Christian? He was like, I was 5. I was like, okay, same. But, I kind of was going through the motions. I rededicated my life when I was like 14 or 15. Right. He was like, yeah, I kind of did the same thing. I was like, okay, great.
Yeah.
So between when you were 14 or 15 to now, how many times have you sinned? And he was like, well, and that's when he kept trying to go down this rabbit hole of like, well, accidentally or...
Right.
I was like...
In general,
yeah. Sin, because there's no distinction. God sees it all equally.
Right.
And, so he kept trying to go on this thing. But so, and he really wouldn't answer the question. And so I was like, okay, take me for example,
Right.
I sin every day because it's inherent within all humans because we're fallen creatures. We're broken. Right. We have an inherent sin nature. We still have to ask for forgiveness of those sins, but we don't have to, like, every time we sin, we lose our faith. We lose our Christianity every time we sin. That's not what the Bible says. That's not correct doctrine. That's not how it works. Right. And I'm thankful that's how it works. And I was like, there is no sin that can like take you away from the hand of God once you've been saved. Once you have accepted Christ, and there's apparently there's an unforgivable sin, which is if you grieve the Holy Spirit. And I was like, I would see that argument, but he didn't make that argument.
Yeah.
And I brought it up. I gave him the argument to use. I was like, if you would have said if you grieve the Holy Spirit, where like if you feel convicted about something and you say, you know what, God, screw you, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
That's like kind of an unforgivable sin some interpretation of the Bible. Right. And I was like, so I gave him that argument. He was like, whatever. He didn't take the bait.
Yeah.
He just said, no, every time you sin, you are leaving God. And so then I was like, okay, in the last month, how many times have you sinned? And he was, or in the last couple months, how many times have you sinned? He looked at me and he thought about it and he was like, I would say, when he made the distinction again, he said, on purpose, it's been about a month since I willfully sinned. And I was like, and then Gage actually said, well, that right there is a lie. So you just lied.
So you are no longer Christian.
So you just lied, and you're going to have to rededicate your life. And I was like, wow, man, you just said that you haven't sinned in a month.
You sin every, second.
Without even knowing it, man.
Have a bad thought.
You sin because you are inherently human. You are inherently separated from God in your flesh. You can't do anything to stop that. The only thing you can do is ask for salvation. And that's it. And that's my point with him. And he went down this whole thing. And the conversation started with, hey, if Jesus was here, he wouldn't be like giving this speech the way that these individuals are. He wouldn't be calling anyone a whore or a slut or listing off all the sins that they've done.
Yeah.
It's not a way to win somebody over to Christ. And I don't like using that term, but you know what I mean. Right. It's not a way to share the gospel is by calling everybody out.
Right.
The way to share the gospel is to say, hey, come as you are. You are loved even though you've done X, Y, and Z. Whatever it is, no matter what you've done, come to the table because it's all offered for you freely.
Right.
And it's in abundance. And I did it for you because I love you no matter what. That's the way you share the gospel. And that's what I told him. I was like, you need to be doing this out of love, not of condemnation and judgment, because you don't know these people.
Right.
And so
they're all not good people, according to...
Yeah. It's like, so what if they're not good people? Does that mean God doesn't love them?
Right.
And, he was like, well, you're judging me because you're saying that this isn't done out of love. And I was like, okay, let's say that you're doing it out of love. You hear the heckling? Nobody knows that. Everyone thinks this is a joke. You think if people would be joking if they knew somebody loved them?
They were chanting.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. They were, yeah.
Beat.
Yeah. Gosh. Humping-eggs, you know what I mean?
Tangent.
Yeah. And so, it was an interest. I've never had a conversation like that with another Christian, I guess. And I don't want to say that he's not a Christian. I don't want to say that either of these people preaching
We
aren't,
don't- yeah.
because I can't say.
Right.
Like, you know, people have said that I'm not a Christian,
Right.
and it's like, you don't know.
Yeah.
How can you say that?
You're not me. You don't know
Yeah,
my
you don't know.
relationship with the
You
Lord.
don't see my prayer life behind the scenes. You don't see,
Right.
you know, what I ask the Lord about, what I ask for forgiveness about. You don't see that stuff, and you know, and I don't see the stuff going on with you. That's between you and the Lord, and it should be. I don't want to be in that relationship. I got
Right.
my own,
Right.
you know, and it's just people that want to have control over stuff that they don't necessarily have the ability to. And so they try to superimpose themselves into a relationship that they're not supposed to be in, and you know,
Don't
just
do it.
just trying to validate themselves, you know,
Just don't do it.
yeah, to make themselves somehow more powerful.
Right. They're like, I got myself in this situation, and I'm gonna end it
Hmm.
with me being right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they make up this fake justification.
Right.
And it's
Love
just, yeah. Yeah, man.
Anyway,
Yeah, well, I
How was your
digress.
day?
My day was great, man. I went
really
to
good.
Austin.
me too.
You went to hashtag?
No.
Oh, too soon. How do you think the Me Too movement like changed our culture? Do you think it did more good than bad, or more bad than good?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't really keep up with that. Like I knew
Well,
it went.
knowing now, you know me, obviously know what it is.
Well, yeah, but
Okay,
like,
so do you think it did more harm than good, or the other way around?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it just like put. I mean, anything like that, like protests and whatever, are gonna put an awareness out there. But then it's like, what are you gonna do with that? Like, you know, you're gonna make it for. I don't know. It just opens more. You know, it. It makes sense in my head, but it opens more like topics that like, you know.
Like it's deeper than what we actually
Right.
think it is, yeah. Well, I mean, we've had the conversation before, and just on the awareness level, I think it's great. I think it is necessary.
Right.
It's needed.
That's what I'm saying. But it opened other
It
topics.
is so necessary for it to be talked about,
Right.
and for it to be like, okay, these people in power are trying to use their sexuality
Right.
or try to take somebody else's sexuality, you know, to get where they want to be.
Right.
You know, or use somebody else's against them to
But
get what
like,
they
then
want.
what are you gonna do like with? You know, it just kind of like.
Well, Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein,
Yeah, but-
those people got arrested. I mean,
Yeah.
they got put in jail, in prison.
Right.
So that's what you do with it.
Right.
But the detriment to it, and I tread very lightly here. I tread very lightly here. With all that said, it is a dangerous thing to be left open.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
it
a very,
opens up.
it's a
other-
very, and it again, it goes back full circle. Where do you draw the line?
It's always. I feel like that's
Yeah.
like
And-
our generation.
and-
Where do you draw the line
yeah,
with like
I-
everything?
And I know you didn't watch the Democratic debate,
No.
and I didn't either. But I saw the highlights, and so let me give you the scenario. So obviously Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren
Right.
running, and they've been good. So Elizabeth Warren came out, hashtag Me Too, came out and said that a long time ago, Bernie Sanders told her that she would never be president because she is a woman. Okay? Even more backstory, back in the 70s, Bernie Sanders was
Standards.
Bernie Sanders was like marching for women's rights and getting like arrested for it. Okay, so he fought like he should. I mean,
Right.
I applaud him for that. Mad respect to the guy. Don't like his policies. Socialism never works. It sucks.
Anyway.
Because, you know, capitalism always wins. Anyway, so, but he fought for women's rights. That's great. All for it. He was there. Getting arrested.
Right.
Getting, you know, for doing this stuff. But Elizabeth Warren, in the debate, or right before the debate, came out and said that he said that she would never be president because she's a woman. So right off the bat, there's discrepancies in her
Right.
story. Okay? But hashtag Me Too.
Right.
Okay? So during the debate, the woman CNN proctor, or like the person asking questions, she's a woman, asked Elizabeth Warren, or asked Bernie Sanders why he asked Elizabeth Warren that, without like any, just took it for complete fact.
Right.
Just, why did you ask Elizabeth Warren that?
Right.
And he said, well, I didn't. I was fighting for the women. I was getting arrested. I lost. I sacrificed all these things for women. And that's my Bernie impression. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And so, after saying all that, which that's a good argument. That's good credibility, and there is evidence that that's true.
Right.
There's pictures of it. There's documents. There's things documenting him doing that.
Right.
So that's a factual story.
Right.
Things can back that up.
Right.
It's not just his word.
Well, we don't know whether he said it or not. We just know he like marched and did those things and got arrested. Like,
Well,
he might have said it, but then he's like, "Oh, I have this."
If he was sexist, he's doing a pretty crappy job.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, he could have said it, but then he's like, but I also, like, marched and did that, so, like, that, like, covers up that, like, no, I didn't say, because, like,
that is completely possible.
Right. I'm
Completely
just saying
possible.
that
Yeah.
is possible. Okay.
Completely possible.
Yes, okay, continue.
But at least there's evidence saying
Right.
otherwise.
Right.
Okay? So then the proctor, after hearing that, asked Elizabeth Warren, and Elizabeth Warren, how did you feel about when Bernie said that to you? Completely disregarding the evidence, completely disregarding what Bernie just said, just took it as absolute fact. And it's like, so then this is where the Me Too movement becomes detrimental. Because clearly you can't just automatically believe a woman. And I said that other thing too the other day. It's biblical. When Noah was in Egypt, you know, the king's wife, Bathsheba, came upon him and tried to, like, you know, get all freaky. And he said no. And he left the king's chambers, and she took off part of his, like, rag. Yeah, and showed it to the king and said, look, he tried to rape me. Clearly he didn't. She was trying to rape him. And he got thrown in prison.
Gets touchy.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about. So
it's like, this isn't a new thing. This isn't like Me Too is a new thing. It's a long time. It goes back.
No, that, like,
yeah.
It's just like, I could easily just go to my mom, go to someone, like, if I just, like, hate you all of a sudden.
Dude,
I don't hate you,
I
but
know.
like, I love you.
I love
but,
you too, baby.
If I just, like, all of a sudden one day hate you, and I'm just like, Mom, like, he did this.
Dude,
and
you
it's,
could literally
like, his word against mine.
You
like,
could literally go on Twitter.
I could.
You could go on Twitter and say at Alex King raped me or touched my elbow without consent.
You know what? I might.
Yeah, you could.
I might.
And I would lose any like future career. And you know what? Nobody would ask you for evidence. Nobody would question you. Nobody would think the opposite way. If I had evidence saying that I didn't touch you inappropriately,
Right.
they would take your side.
It's just your word against mine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even if it was your word against actual physical evidence, you would win.
Do we try it?
No. Because I actually want
It's
to
not like you work or something.
Ooh, I gotta sneeze.
Bless you. That's disgusting. No. No. You're not.
Yeah. But so it's it's crazy to think, and I just thought about that. It's biblical.
You did think about that.
Yeah, it's biblical. I mean, this exact scenario happened during the times of Noah and in Egypt and Hebrew slavery. And
Slavery.
yeah, Hebrew slavery. But yeah, I mean, it's so that's where I think it becomes detrimental, because where do you draw the line? I mean, where do you ask the questions? Where do you say, okay, where's the evidence? We need to find some evidence here, you know. And I'm not saying automatically discredit anyone, you know. I'm not saying if you were to come out on Twitter and say, hey, this happened to me, that everyone should be like, oh,
no,
you're a woman, you're obviously lying.
Right.
No, I'm just saying find some way to have some evidence here, you know, because if you're saying that this happened on this day, and it comes out that I was in Canada,
right,
obviously you're lying. But if there's clear evidence to say, hey, I was probably with you that night, and probably touched you because you have bruises and marks, and there's they do those rape tests,
Rape kits,
and rape kits, and it's like, okay, if my DNA is in places that it shouldn't be, I'm going to prison, and I should go to prison, and I should be castrated in the streets.
Right.
I mean, that's how serious of an issue rape is. But then it's becoming like, okay, but if it becomes like this fake thing, you take away the heroism of the actual victims.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's so, I mean, man, I can't even imagine what that must feel like for people that have actually been like raped and survived to tell tell the story.
Right.
What that must feel like for them, because it's like they're being disenfranchised. Because anyone can say that they got raped.
Right.
You know?
I have a slogan for you now.
Okay.
Where do we draw the line?
Where do we draw the line? Come on, where do we draw the line?
That should be your outro.
As always.
Stare dead in the camera.
Where do we draw the line?
Where do we draw the line?
Where do we draw the line? Yeah. So it's like, you just kind of ask for wisdom every day to kind of discern from the lies. And it's hard. It's hard because you don't want to be that guy that's like to ask the first question, And it's like, that's where my hat's off to the police officers that have to deal with those kind of cases, or like any caseworker.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't want to have to ask those questions. Those are uncomfortable questions to ask a woman.
Right.
Like, where did he touch you? Like, show on
like
the doll.
I watch Law and Order, yeah.
You got to be a special kind of person to deal with that.
You're like, I mean, the victim's having to go back through the scenario, and then you as, like, the police officer are, like, having to ask the uncomfortable questions, and then, like,
yeah, it's insane.
Carry that with you, too, knowing that happened to someone.
I know. Yeah, knowing that this is a person, and, this stuff happened to them.
See, that, like, I like watching those shows, but, like, I could never, like, do that. At one point, it, like, interested me, and I was like, oh, like, that seems cool, but I'm like, you're taking all that home with you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's gotta be crazy.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way someone...
Yeah, and you gotta go home and feed your kids.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'll watch it. I'm good.
Yeah, man, I'm fine.
Ooh.
Yeah, we've said it before on the show. Like, obviously you can't believe all women, and obviously you can't discredit all women. You can't believe all men.
So where do you draw the line?
You draw the line at circumstantial or empirical evidence. Because you know what? That's fact.
I don't know.
It's kind of hard to have equality when it's man's word versus woman's word. That's why the only non-bias, divisive thing is evidence.
What about those, like, staged, like, things?
Oh, like the Jussie Smollett thing?
What's that?
So, what's that show about, like, R&B? Like,
show about R&B?
Yeah, it's where, like, they have, like, a record company.
Empire,
yeah.
Okay.
So one of the actors on there, his name is Jussie Smollett.
Oh.
And he staged a hate crime.
Was he homosexual?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, no, I'm trying to, like, piece it together in my head.
No, he might be, he might not be.
Okay, I can't.
But it's not important.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he staged a hate crime where he called the police and said that white people came into his apartment and tried to hang him or some crazy stuff like that. Or tried to beat him up or whatever.
Right.
Turns out it was all fake. And he just did it for the attention.
I remember that. See, that's like...
But everybody believed him.
Right.
Because he's black. And everyone... I mean, the media just assumes every white person is racist.
Yeah.
Even though they're all white.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, not all of them are white, but... Yeah. But it's like, yeah, so... And the evidence came out that it was clearly faked.
Right. And he was a celebrity, which they're like, oh, yeah, it had to have. Why would he have, like, made that up? And then...
He did it because of the attention. Because people would believe it.
See,
and they did. Yeah.
Crazy.
It is scary.
We gotta grow up in that.
Yeah. We have to raise kids in that.
But I'm saying we gotta grow up first in that. And try and, like, maneuver it for ourselves. And then try and maneuver a child to that.
Well... It's like I said, it's not new things. People have been faking those type of stuff.
No, I know, but just
forever.
With media now.
Yeah.
It's
bigger
than...
That's true.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's so crazy. Where did we draw the line?
Where do we draw the
Where
line?
did we draw the
Where
line?
do we draw the line?
Where's the line?
There is
There's a
none.
line in the sand.
There isn't
There's
a line.
No lines.
There's no line.
No lines.
No.
So many lines everywhere. There's no line.
So many gray areas.
There's an infinite amount of genders. We have to believe
Can you
everyone.
take the derivative of a line that's not there? Can you take a derivative of a line?
Yes. It's
Okay.
0.
All right.
Like if you graphed a constant,
Mhm.
it'd be a straight line. Like y equals
Straight.
Yeah.
What about the gays?
Well, that doesn't show up in math.
See, that's a problem.
Oh, it's
They
racist.
need to be
It's sexist
It's
and
not
homophobic.
racist.
Well, it's racist because I'm white.
You
But-
are
yeah.
ist.
Yeah, I'm racist because I'm white, but since I'm talking about gays, I'm homophobic. And if I try to explain to you that if I try to explain to you that gay people don't, like homosexuality doesn't show up in numbers, I'm homophobic. On top of being racist because I'm white.
Okay, I still have this question in my head, and I really want someone to answer it for me because it's always going to be in my head. What's the statistic that if you're an interracial couple and like you have kids, that your kids are also gonna like be an interracial couple?
Nobody cares about that question.
I do.
No, you do, but I'm saying the reason why nobody like has a statistic on it because nobody cares.
Well, there might be there might be one somewhere, and
Have you looked it up?
I'm not. No, honestly, I don't know why I
Yeah,
haven't. 'cause
nobody.
Google.
Yeah, nobody has. I don't know. I don't know.
Like, I want to know.
Yeah,
It's like my parents are, and then hello, this happened. So like, what's the statistic that like, if we have kids, that's also a thing?
yeah, I don't know.
I
could
need
happen.
to know. Someone needs to find that out for me because
could
that's
happen.
been in my head for a very long time. So I'm gonna need someone to find that.
We'll have to find out. Yeah, leave it down in the comments,
Please.
please.
You haven't talked about The Bachelor. I know. You haven't
haven't
watched
watched
it.
Neither of you. You skipped a whole week.
I caught back up.
You didn't watch Sundays.
It doesn't come on Sunday. It was Monday and Wednesday, and they were
Oh.
like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah. Did you watch Mondays?
I did.
I didn't.
Monday and Wednesday.
Yeah,
Saucy.
I mean,
Would
do
you
you
be-
care to talk about anything on that?
That's not really. It doesn't matter. Would you be the Bachelor if you were a single
No.
Pringle?
Single Pringle?
If you were a single Pringle, would you go on The Bachelor?
Heck no.
Why?
Because I don't want people fighting over me.
You don't want people fighting over you.
Like, not just, like, I want people I know fighting over me. But I don't want, like, millions of viewers being like, oh my god.
See, that's funny. That's my first thought would be like, someone's not here for the right intention.
Well, okay, clearly.
Yeah,
But
that's funny.
I feel like I'd be able to, like, discern that very easily.
See, I don't know, because you might get caught up in it.
Caught up in what?
Like, just the whole...
No, I'd be able to tell if you're not here for the right reasons. And I'll be honest with you, I probably wouldn't be there for the right reasons.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just to go on that, like... Oh, I don't know. Why can't you
'Cause just
go
be on-
find...
Just be on TV. Yeah. People, dude, that show blows my mind. That is
It's
just, like,
funny.
normal. That is just normal to, like,
Kiss
say
a ton
I...
of girls.
Yeah, to make out with, like, 12 different girls in the same night and then tell each of them that you love them.
Right. Or I'm kidding. Yeah, I have feeling. I'm starting to develop feelings for you.
Like, 8 different girls.
Shout out to Peter. Doing great. Pilot Pete.
How do you...
Have those...
Peter, come on the show. How do you love, 11 different girls...
Well, he hasn't said love to any of them, but he's been saying that he's catching feelings. Oh my god. But like, how can you figure out your feelings when you have like that many relationships? Like, that's gotta be hard figuring out whether you like that like one person, like in real life, figuring that out.
Exactly.
Hashtag bowling. But like, trying to figure that out is crazy. You're like trying to figure out whether this one person has the right intentions. Like,
Do I
But
have
you're
the
having
right,
to do that-
Do I have the right intentions right
what day
now?
is today? I'm just kidding. I love you.
Do I have the right intentions?
Yes.
Okay.
Being held at gunpoint.
Hashtag me too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Um.
So I'm filling in for Josh Pink, clearly. Think I'm doing a great job. But
You are. Josh is in here in spirit. He's sleeping like a baby.
yeah.
He's had a hard week, so we'll see him back next week, hopefully.
No, I'm taking his
Oh,
position.
you can come.
I'm gonna take his spot. Sorry,
Yeah.
Josh.
Well, no, both of y'all can be on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Y'all are talking about stuff that I'm just. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name? Yeah. Giannis.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yeah.
Bless
you.
Thank you.
Kazoonheit.
Whatever his name is.
Giannis.
I'll just find like a list. I'll make a list. Like I'll have like girl.
Whatever you're gonna say, I don't like it.
I'll have like girl. Like y'all have like guy topics. I'll have like girl topics,
Okay.
and we can like discuss girl topics.
Yeah.
That are, like going on that week.
Okay.
But what I was gonna
what's
say-
a girl topic that happened this week?
I don't know. I wasn't prepared. I gotta figure that out. Well,
Okay.
it was my intro to gender. I need to like tape that class. That class is ridiculous. But I was gonna say I'll make a list of
All
like
the blue-haired feminists out there.
the hottest NBA players. Like rank them with the pictures, so you can like see. Y'all can figure out like how y'all would rank them. No, you don't like that idea?
No, it's a great idea.
Okay.
You get a lot of views.
Yeah, I might. You know what? I might
You might what?
get a lot of views.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
The way you're looking at it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Alex, where can they find you?
They can find me in prison for being accused of a hate crime that I didn't do.
That I filed. So
Yeah.
I'm going to take over the throne room
Yeah.
as your new host, which won't be hard because
She runs it in
I'm
the
also
background
Alex
anyway.
King.
Yeah. Oh, I wish.
Aw.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't have the right intentions apparently, so. Yeah. Apparently
You're
I'm
going to
not-
make this about us right now?
Apparently I'm not a Christian either, so.
No, you're not. And I'm a whore, so
You're a whore,
it's fine.
and I'm
it
not a
works
Christian.
Out. It balances itself out.
Whore, Ted Bundy, and Satan.
This is why this relationship works.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. It's the only reason why. Because we get accused of things that we don't do.
That we aren't.
That we aren't.
Yes.
Yeah. That's just.
We connect on that level.
We connect on
and
that
we are
level.
also both named Alex, so. I'm just going to go
For
by
the record, we are both named.
I'm just going to go by Alexandria, so.
Nobody calls you that.
Maybe Giannis will.
No. He won't.
You don't know.
He won't.
You don't know.
I do know.
No, you don't.
I will not let him near you. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a hate crime somehow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. It's racist. It's misogynistic.
Somehow.
It's ist. You know what I also hate? This is the last thing we'll talk about.
Okay.
It's the longest
Is it
episode.
deep?
Yeah, well, no.
Okay.
But I hate, I feel like back in the 80s, or maybe not even that, maybe like the 90s.
Right?
Anything before 2016 when Trump won.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's broad.
Yeah. Just the last 4 years. Yeah. Anything before that, people could have a conversation. Excuse me.
What's going on? What's up?
People could have a conversation about like anything without. I'll give you a minute. Take your time. Yeah. Take your time.
What's up? What's going on?
Okay, people could have a conversation without like crying in the streets.
We were talking about this. We can't
Yeah.
we can't just have a normal conversation anymore.
Wait, in your gender class?
No, like I was talking about it with you. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Now we just
It's
without
just-
bringing like
it's-
some
Yeah.
irrelevant topic in, because I've had this experience. Like, we can't just like you got to bring some whatever.
Well, that's what I talked about. It's like if we're having a conversation about gender
Right.
or like abortion, you know, and we're having like a civil dialogue where, you know, we respect each other's points. You get what? Did you fart? Okay. She farted. Where you're like, you give your points,
Right.
and I'll bring my points.
Right.
But then you get like so heated because I proved you wrong
Mm-hmm.
that you're just like, oh well,
shut down.
you're mansplaining, you're sexist, you're racist, bigoted, fascist, you're misogynistic, you're just white, and you're a man, and you're just homophobic and transphobic and Islamophobic and xenophobic, and you're sexist, and it's like,
Satan.
shut up. None of that is true. And you know, it's like, I don't know. It's like you can't have a conversation. You can't have a civil dialogue anymore without. And it doesn't even have to be about politics now.
That's what I'm saying. You bring politics, religion, like you bring all of that homophobic, whatever. You bring
Yeah.
it into. You can drag it into any conversation, and then you're like, oh shoot, like how can I handle this topic without being,
Yeah.
you know, seen as like the bad person?
Yeah. And for example, like if I were to, you know, make a comment, if I was trying to make a point about where I wanted the direction of the show to go, and I named a podcast that wasn't necessarily like appropriate, even though I said that it wasn't appropriate.
Right.
You know, I just said the name.
Right.
Didn't like promote it. Didn't say, hey, this is a great show. Everyone should go listen to this. They should put this, you know, on when they lay their kids to bed so that they can listen to it and absorb it.
Right.
I say don't do that. It has hard language. You know, if I said all that, and let's just say in this hypothetical that somebody said, hey, you're not a Christian because of this.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, okay, but you're bringing something irrelevant into something that
Into
you
a
know nothing
conversation.
about.
Yep.
Number one, this isn't about that. This is about me making a point about the direction I want my show to go.
And referencing something, not saying
Yeah.
go listen
Go
to
listen
it.
to this.
And you prefaced.
I preface, hey, this isn't a good
It's
thing to
mature
it's
content.
very mature content. It's had some harsh language. If you're able to handle that, go for it. But, you know, I'm not out here saying, hey, everybody go listen to this for $5.99. It's
Right.
on www.spotify.com/whatever. And that's not happening here.
Right.
If that were the case, yeah, you might have a good argument when you say that I'm not a Christian.
I have a problem with that.
Yeah, you should have a problem with that. So it's like, you know, where do you draw the
Where
line?
do you draw the line?
Where do you draw the
Where
line
do you
here?
draw the line?
Yeah. That should be a new segment.
Where do you draw the
Where
line?
do you draw the line? Just the new
Pull up
news,
a
the new news and social justice. Where do you draw the line?
Gosh.
Yeah, you can't.
No.
Well, we did register to vote,
We did.
so
I feel like an adult.
yeah,
Adulting. out
Yeah.
here.
So who are you gonna vote for?
Lillian.
Okay, serious question though. Who do you think's gonna win the Democratic primary?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Glad we're on the same page.
Okay.
I knew I liked you for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll have to really pray about that one.
Yeah.
Because policy-wise and the way our country's going, I can't vote for a Democrat.
Now it's
right
just
now.
like who's the lesser of evils. I feel like that's what we're.
That's where it
come
was
to.
last. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you either have like
I mean,
a
that's
crazy
what's-
psycho liar, or you have, you know, just kind of a joke on the outside and a great president on the inside. You know,
Yeah.
dude's a freaking joke, man. I mean, come on. You know.
Where do you draw the line?
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny to watch, though. Honestly,
It's objectively funny.
it's objectively funny
As
to
you
see
would
this
say.
to see this man
That should be another segment. Objectively funny.
objectively funny. And where do we draw the line?
Where do we draw the
Yeah,
line?
that's a
You're
good one.
welcome.
Yeah,
See,
that's a
I'm
good
doing
one.
better than
Yeah.
Josh,
Hey, it's not nice. He made
but
it.
I am.
Okay. But I mean, yeah. So it's like, you know, man. Yeah, because it's like, yo, the dude's said some things that are like, this is disgusting to say.
Twitter is his outlet.
Yeah. So which is so weird because I mean, Obama had a Twitter, but he didn't tweet.
Wasn't on that thing every Tuesday.
No, he did
Tweeting
like
nonsense.
tweeting just
Like,
random.
go do
irrelevant-
something.
Yeah, well, he has done a lot.
He does
He
do-
does
but-
do a
okay.
lot, and it's, you know, it's stuff that he's just used to doing since he's very business minded, which is great. I mean, he's running the company he's running the country like a
Company.
business. Yeah,
Company.
he's running the.
We're
I
all
was
in
gonna
a
say
simulation.
company. Ooh, aren't we?
Another segment.
Yeah. But then it's like, so you would rather have great economy, lowest African American unemployment, lowest Hispanic unemployment, lowest overall unemployment, lowest taxes, the housing market's going great. And I'm not saying all those things are because of Trump, but would you rather have that, or would you rather have democratic socialism, aka socialism?
Socialism.
No, you wouldn't.
Dang it, wrong answer.
No, you wouldn't. No,
Gosh dang.
you would not rather have that. I promise. So it's like, morally is one thing.
See, we end up back on politics.
Yeah, morally it's one thing, but
We don't find out.
for the sake of the country,
We're
you
gonna find out.
can't vote for socialism. Just can't do it. That's where the line has to be drawn.
That's where we draw the line.
That's where we draw the line.
That's where
We draw the line at
It
socialism.
took us all episode to draw the line, but we
Yeah.
did it.
We drew the line at socialism, and guess what? I also draw the line. I draw the line at the approval of socialism and the approval of not drawing lines.
Okay. All right.
Because no one on that side likes to draw lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Alright. Oh, where can they find you?
That's a great question. I don't know. I think it's
Bowden Road.
Devil's Road.
Devil's Road.
That's where you can find me, sitting
Just
in the middle
laying in the
of
cemetery,
Devil's Road,
Just
meditating.
yeah. Gross.
It's Alex something.
I think it's Alex E. Grace because I stalk you a lot.
Yeah, he did stalk me. I watched him stalk me.
Oh, God forbid I look at my girlfriend's Instagram page because
What boyfriend are you? Gosh.
yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, it must be Alex E. Gray, something like that. And my Twitter might be the same thing. I don't know.
Become a patron, Patreon/Throne Room. Follow the Instagram and Twitters at the Throne Room. Go on Apple Podcasts, give us a review, give us 5 stars. You don't have to say anything nice. Please don't say anything mean. I mean, you can. I really wouldn't be mad. Just say anything. I don't know why it helps us out, but it does.
You can't cry about it. You're weak.
Yeah,
Just making that distinction.
but I'm also racist because I'm white.
You're an ist. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. 100%. You can follow me on Instagram at king__Alex__. But you know where to find me. You'll just find the Throne Room on Instagram and you'll figure out where I'm at.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, you know
See
what
you
we
next
say
time
after
when we draw the line.
You know, you don't listen to the show at all.
I'm sorry. Look, I was a good girlfriend in the beginning and I listened, but then I don't anymore. So it's a hard time out there.
So we say howdy later at the end of the episodes now?
Okay. At the same time, like, are we making this
Yeah.
cute? Okay.
So like I said, you don't listen to it so you wouldn't know.
I'm a bad girlfriend.
You
I'm
don't
sorry.
you don't make an effort for
Right,
me anymore.
Right, yeah.
In my creative endeavors.
Right. Creativity.
But you know what? I am glad that you do or don't do. I'm glad that you don't try to control the show.
Mhm.
I'm glad that you don't try to superimpose your will
Right.
on a show that doesn't necessarily belong to you.
Mhm.
Even though I would love for you to make
Right.
comments on it.
I would never.
I would love for you to make comments on it. But I'm glad that you don't. When you disagree with something I said, I'm glad that you don't. Try to force me to do something.
Right.
That I don't necessarily agree with.
I would never do that. It's
I
not
know.
my show to do that.
No, I know.
You are 20 years old, almost 21.
I greatly appreciate
Yeah,
it.
you're
I
welcome.
greatly appreciate it. And I think I can distinguish between appropriate and inappropriate things to say.
inappropriate.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Um,
can you for the youngins?
hmm?
Are you able to make that distinction for, like, younger?
No, because I'm
children?
not their parents.
Right.
That's kind of where we
Okay.
draw the line.
All right,
there,
let's
so
draw
so
the
I can't choose how you parent your child.
Right. No. But you're just putting out your content.
Yeah,
You
which,
wanna
which
put
is
it
kind of
out
weird because when you give a child the internet, they're kind
You
of
should set
exposed to
those-
way worse things.
But you can set restrictions.
Oh,
as
you can
the
set
parent.
restrictions. Yeah, as a parent, you should be as a responsible parent. You should set restrictions.
I
But
agree.
shout out one time.
Shout out for the real ones.
Shout out for the real ones. You know who you are.
Henry.
Henry would never. No,
Hi,
Henry.
Dad.
Henry agrees with us.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
I almost said hi, Henry.
I mean, I
Hi,
can't
Dad.
say Dad. Hi, Henry.
No,
Hi,
he'll get
Mr.
mad at you.
Ellard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Coach. I've never called him Mr. Ellard.
It's Coach.
I just say Coach. I'm never gonna not call him Coach.
Wow, that's cute.
Yeah. But if the kids start calling him Coach, that's probably weird.
The kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pregnant. Is what I'm telling you.
You're using your privilege again?
Yeah, my white privilege. My white male privilege.
Anyway.
Yeah. That's where I draw the line.
We're drawing the line.
Anybody says that I have a white male privilege just for
Just
no
draw
reason,
a line.
can't vote for you. Sorry, pal.
Just draw a line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't vote for that.
Howdy later? That's what I thought you
Yeah,
were
we
gonna
kind
get
of
at.
like throw that out there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Howdy later.
I hated all